Well, hey, welcome back to the studio. A couple of months ago, I did a video on the tiniest Atari 2600 console ever. And if you didn't see that, I'll leave a link to it above. Well, that got me going down a rabbit hole of little tiny consoles and knockoffs and unlicensed stuff. And I happened to come across this, what they call an FC Compact, and I got this on AliExpress. And I'm pretty sure this is not a licensed product from Nintendo, but it was cheap, so I figured I'd go ahead and buy it so that we could take a look at it and then tear it apart and see what makes it work. Stay tuned. Now, I do not have high hopes for this product at all, and yes, I bought this with my own money. It's not sponsored. I don't know that I would take a sponsored video from something that's not licensed like this. But anyway, I thought it was kind of neat because on the box it says that it has 500 games, but then down here it says 132, and it's pretty much all in Chinese, and who knows. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box, take a look around it, and see what we're working with. So if we take a look around the box here, they couldn't even put Famicom on here. They put FC Compact, and we can kind of see vintage in there amongst the Chinese characters. But yeah, as far as features and everything goes, they're talking about the 500 games, but then 132. Looks like we do have composite video output, which would be nice, which I guess we would expect nowadays. 2 controllers, and I'm not sure what that says. But let's go ahead and get this thing open. Now, it's not packaged particularly well. We do get a user's manual with it. Well, actually a user manual. So for the Super Mini Games console. And it does not look like it tells us much at all. 9-volt charger for power supply. Looks like it's a 5-volt charger in there. Well, anyway, put that to the side. It looks like it comes with a European style plug, USB mini on there. We do get AV cables. This is how it was packaged, by the way. This is from the factory. So we do have a 132-in-1 game cartridge. So maybe there are built-in games. We'll have to take a look and see. A couple of controllers, and then the unit itself, and that's all we've got in the box. Now the unit itself, man, this thing is really cheap feeling. There is nothing about this that feels good at all. All the writing on it is in Chinese, but I'm guessing we've got a power switch and a reset and then the cartridge eject. Little door for the cartridge there. And then these controllers are absolutely terrible. Even the stickers are peeling off of these things already. Little mini, yeah, looks like 9-pin mini D connectors for the controllers. So LED poking out there. And then on the back we've got our USB DC input, audio, video, and write audio. So looks like maybe it's stereo. All right, well, let's try to get this thing hooked up and see what it's got on it. All right, well, after doing a little Google Translate on everything, yeah, it looks like reset button and power is all we've got on it, which I think the original Famicom probably had too. I was never a Nintendo guy when I was younger. We always had a Commodore, so I didn't have a whole lot of experience with these. Now, this does have, appears to be stereo audio on the back of it. I don't know if that's actually going to be stereo or not, because I don't know that the console would have been stereo. I don't remember the NES having stereo output, but I could be wrong. All right, well, let's try without the game cartridge in it first and see if it's got any built-in games. Switch is a little crunchy. Yeah. Okay, let's go to English. And yeah, it says 501. Yeah, there are 500 games on there. I'm sure they're all terrible. Let's see what we got here. Like Turtle Fighter. Bet you they've changed the names. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 1993 should be the Konami release. Yep. So this might be the original game. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it's the original. I can't see from back here what's going on, so. But anyway, yeah, that looks like the original game. Let's reset. See what else we've got on here. I'm not going to go through all 500 of them. Chip and Dale, Contra Force, Ninja Garden, Double Dragon. Double Dragon 4, okay. So it looks like there are some well-known games on here. I'm sure that they are not licensed in any way. Kind of curious what they've got running this. If you want to skip ahead to the teardown, I'll leave a table of contents down in the description if you want to skip all of this stuff. Tiny Toon Adventures, Angry Bird 2. These look like kind of filler games. RoboCop 2 and 4. Pac-Man 3. Tetris. Okay. Bomberman, Circus Charlie, Galaga, Galaxian, Ether Fighter, whatever that is, Load Runner. So I'm seeing some stuff that looks like it's recognizable at least. A lot of them are probably just filler. Oh, 1942. I think I had this game on the Commodore back in the day, if I remember right. Let's see. Probably just crashed myself. Okay. All right, well, let's see what's on the 132-in-1 game cartridge. God, that just feels so cheap. That Switch. Okay. At least the Turtles 1. And there's a Contra 24-in-1, which I guess has 24 different games. Super Contra 24-in-1. So maybe that's how they're getting their 132-in-1. Yeah, maybe not. So yeah, it looks like there's some different games on here than there were on the other ones. Goonies. Oh, it's a platformer. So I don't remember the Goonies game. Okay. Well, that's one I'll have to check out a little bit more. Kind of a Mario Brothers-esque kind of a feel to it. So I missed out on a lot of these games not having the Famicom or the Nintendo, I guess, back in the day. All right. Well, good enough. So, yeah, just your regular old unlicensed ROM dump kind of a thing that they've got going on here. God, that just feels so terrible. All right, well, let's, I guess it's time to probably go ahead and tear this thing apart and see what we're working with. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. Looks like just regular Phillips head screws on this one. Let's see. Probably that one. Yep. All right, well, let's see what they've got holding this thing together. Like I say, it's a pretty cheap case itself. I mean, it feels even more hilariously cheap than most of the cheap knockoff stuff. It almost has a 3D printed feel, but it's even cheaper feeling than that. Not saying that 3D printed stuff feels cheap, but you know, it's got that different feel to it. This has that kind of odd feel. Let's see if this will come apart now. Yep, get that screw out of there. Well, as expected, there is not a whole lot to this. Looks like 3 boards. Go ahead and take those out too, I guess. Back one here looks like it's just your AV board. And I know how a lot of you are when it comes to wanting to see how these things are put together, so not a whole lot there. Looks like 3 resistors. The rest are all through hole stuff, and not even done real well. I'll put pictures of this stuff up as we're talking about it so you guys could see what I'm talking about here. Now I'm guessing this is the main board. There's a blob chip on it. It looks like it must go straight to the edge connector. Is that broken, or is it that might be why that thing felt so loose. Yeah, because I think that's supposed to be part of it. So it's actually broken in transit. So there's a couple of different chips on there. Let's quake this out of there and see. Yeah, missing a screw on that one. Yeah, they are definitely built to a cost. Can't even put all the screws in it. All right, let's get that out of the way. So those are our boards. Can't really see what that says on there. Does it say live? So I'll put pictures of all this stuff up for any of you guys that are interested in looking at it. But they didn't even trim the tails off a lot of these components when they put them through. So here's our board with the switches. Got an LED bent into place there with a resistor. And those are the only components other than the switches and the controllers on that one. Edge connector going over to this main board. A couple of capacitors. Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to it. This blob chip must be the one where they're holding all the ROMs and stuff, and this must be some kind of controller chip. It looks like it's had the top of it just sanded off. Maybe some kind of crystal there, and then a bunch of little surface mount components. Yeah, I'll take a picture of it for any of you guys who want to look at it a little bit closer, and I'll put that stuff up on the screen so you can see it. But really, there's not a whole lot to this thing. Definitely built to a price. It's amazing, though, how the technology has been miniaturized and cheapened up so much compared to when this stuff was new. I mean, it really, you know, even though it's done poorly in this case, it's still amazing that we have the ability to do that. So, yep, there it is. That's our, well, I guess some of you probably want to see what the inside of the cartridge might look like. I don't feel any screws holding this together, so I'm assuming it's just clipped or glued. Oh, that just fell out. There we go. So, yep, there's the inside of the cartridge. Just a little PCB with a chip on it, a couple of resistors. Not a whole lot to it. So yeah, that is our cheap clone Famicom system. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Is this something that you think would be worth buying and worth messing around with? I mean, I think if nothing else, it's kind of a neat one to take apart. But if you like the video, please be sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already. It really, really helps me out. And until next time, happy vintage gaming.